Alright guys, so today's video, we're going to do a little different. Instead of, a talk over training video, thinking more like a day in the life of style, right? So, well, if you guys haven't been following, I'm a 37-year-old guy who's training as a novice bodybuilder for his first show here in September 19th. I have disease called Stargardt's disease, so partially blind. I can kind of see stuff for the most part, ish. Like everything's just super fuzzy all the time, no matter what, and there's no fix for it. So, but with that, it's going to put me on disability, and we have a lot of time on our hands. So, our goal is, hopefully build a social media and a YouTube following to kind of go back to being self-efficient. We could build an income there, all while getting as healthy and possibly very, very jacked as possible. Now, I do know when you're competing, you're kind of pushing back out of that healthy range in the other extreme of stuff, depending upon how far you go in competing. But we will see where this path in life takes us. But that's where I'm kind of thinking this video is going to go. And with that, the first part of this is, well, every morning, what do? I wake up and I have my 80-pound little land otter here. That's my little snuggle buddy. She, very, very lazy. If a introvert was reincarnated as a dog that liked to sleep and eat, well, this is her. So, this little guy, or girl I should say, Chunks, is, well, dedicated to being lazy, and she will come and destroy your bed. Alright, so, made it look a little different all of a sudden. So, today's Saturdays. Saturdays I do normally end up cutting my hair and shaving the beard, or facial hair, whatever's kind of growing out. I don't normally really shave more than once a week. I will sometimes if I've got something to do during the week. But for me, for whatever reason, if I really start shaving, 2-3 times a week or try to shave every day of the week, my face will just break out like crazy. It's been like that since I was a teenager, and it still doesn't now. So try to minimize the shaving, but still enough to where I don't look, grungy and presentable per se. But now that done with all that, now it's the morning set of vitamins or supplements. So since right now I'm cutting and I go do my cardio fasted, I also take a thermogenic called Burn XT Max. It's been pretty consistent on energy levels, and also initially when I first started taking it, it did help me drop a few pounds, but then we've ran into some issues other than from that stuff. One with the wisdom teeth, and then with the Sermelin, and apparently also just being a little too low in calories. But this morning we woke up 209.5, so we dropped a quarter pound from yesterday. Then we also take our good old beta-alanine. We take this twice a day, 2 tablets each time. A serving of this is actually 3 tablets for 3,400. So we're getting in 7,000 milligrams basically. Beta-alanine, it's actually a bit over that if we add in our pre and everything. I take 1 L-citrulline 3 times a day. And then, so that's another 7,500 milligrams of L-citrulline. That's for that, basically nitrogen production is what we're looking for there. It's going to help in your pumps, cardiovascular health, same with the beta-alanine. The beta-alanine is also going to help with getting rid of that lactic acid buildup and that big burn. And in my opinion, actually kind of helps a little bit with soreness the next day because you are getting that lactic acid flushed out as long as you're drinking enough water. as well as L-arginine. Now, L-arginine is not as, say, effective as citrulline. They do serve basically the same purpose, because what it is L-arginine will pass through the kidneys and liver, and on the first pass, it's broken down to citrulline, and then it goes into the bloodstream, and then it gets filtered out. Well, citrulline gets to bypass that. So, L-arginine, for the most part, is, in some cases and studies, says it's useless. Others say, it works, just not as a highest rate. So, I just take them both. There's not really, from what I can find, any harm in supplementing both of them. And it is insanely cheap. So if anything, in a way, the L-citrulline will become bioavailable faster, and the L-arginine is going to take a little longer to become more bioavailable. So, in theory with that, in a way, it's going to act like consuming sugar and consuming honey at the same time. The sugar is going to spike your glucose immediately, but then your honey is going to break down and get to those glucose levels later after your sugar's already started to basically be burnt off and crashed, right? So, it is, in my theory currently, that it's still going to be effective. It's just doing its job slower, is the way I'm looking at it. But, next thing with that, I got to get the gym bag together. So, when I get the gym bag together, I do a water bottle with Element in it, get in my sodium and my electrolytes while I'm on the treadmill, start the day off feeling a bit hydrated, and that's basically, kind of the morning here. So when I get back, I'll go ahead and show you meal one. Probably not cooking it, but I will show you what I'm going to eat for meal one. It's basically the same thing every single day, and I'll see you in a few. Alrighty, y'all. So, we went to the gym. We knocked out our, today, 25 minutes on the treadmill, 12 incline, 2.5 speed, and, got it done. Then we went and sat in the dry sauna today. A little longer than normal. We actually knocked out about 30 minutes in there. Just over is like 31 something. But, now it's time for meal one. So, first part of meal one, 3 ounces banana. I like to throw this thing into the freezer for about 30 minutes before I chop them up. I like them nice and cold. It's like a nice little treat. Second part to it, I like Elevate cream of rice. This is 2 scoops. So 70 grams cream of rice, 1.25 cups water. And that's our carb sources, right? Carbs, fiber. Then 10 ounces chicken. Today, did it up in the crock pot. Big batch of it. That's, so I kind of do basically like 20 ounces at a time in there, since I'm going to eat 2 10-ounce meals of chicken, and then I just split it in half. So I've got 10 ounces there, and today, like the water itself, go ahead and add in like some garlic powder, onion powder, some Italian seasoning, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and like 2 tablespoons of Kinder's barbecue sauce. So the calories from that, you could really call it like 5 or something, because you're not getting all of it. A lot of it's going to stay in the crock pot when you pull the chicken out and you shred it. But after I go ahead and shred it, I do toss it into a skillet real quick, add another 40 calories of Kinder's barbecue sauce to it, and just kind of caramelize the chicken in it after it's already shredded up. Give it a little more flavor. Gotta like what you eat. But, so all together, this meal is 690 calories, 685, something like that. It is 68 grams of protein. Way perfect start for your first meal there, especially because this is breaking my fast. 80 grams of carbs and 8 grams of fats. So, nice, good balance here. I like eating this after
I do cardio because one, I don't have a bunch sitting in my stomach, makes doing cardio a little bit easier. Two, here in about an hour or so, hour and a half, I'm going to go to the gym. So this is my pre-workout meal at the same time. So getting in all these carbs, it's going to give me that energy to get through my workout, along with obviously caffeine from pre. But that is meal number one for me. So when I come back from the gym, we'll have meal number two, and I'll break that down for you then as well.
Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back. So, made a little mistake. I had meal number two, but forgot to kind of show you what I was about to eat. But basically, almost the same thing. So, 10 ounces of shredded chicken again, seasoned up. Another bowl of cream of rice, same amount, 2 scoops type of thing. And then the only difference here is instead of the 3 ounces of banana, it is actually 8 ounces of russet potato. So this brings this meal to 866 calories. It's 106 grams of carbs, 76 grams of protein, and 11 grams of fats. So another big, healthy meal. This is my largest portion size of meal throughout the day, and right now this is actually the meal that has my added calories, or should I say specifically added carbs, which is still calories, that I've added in for the last 1, 2, 3, today's day 4 of adding in some extra calories. Because I was talking to somebody, they think my stagnation of weight is because I'm just literally not eating enough, which sounds counterproductive to losing weight. But we've kind of talked about why it works that way science-wise with adaptation and the body just thinking I'm starving, because as I get leaner, technically I'm burning more calories because now I have less body fat and things like that, I guess, in a way. It's kind of complicated, but not complicated, right? So as you get leaner, you have to eat more so the body doesn't think it's starving, so that way it will continue to get rid of the body fat that's on your body, even though technically you still need to be in a deficit. So it's kind of weird how it all works. But with that also comes, you have to have more caloric output. So you've got to put out a little more work. But it is what it is. No big deal. So that's meal number 2. Meal number 3 that'll be coming up will be ground beef and potatoes. And we'll talk about that one here when it comes out. But basically, we went, knocked out our lift for today, which will actually be tomorrow's video, since these are kind of filmed like a day behind almost. Today ended up being a rest day. That's why we're doing this kind of day in a life of type video, because my elbow yesterday was not feeling it at all. So I decided to take a rest day, recover a little more, and it worked out today. Went in, hit a chest day, and it was freaking awesome, as you guys will see tomorrow. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But with that, I will see you guys for meal number 3, dinner time. Alrighty guys, meal number 3. Almost did the same thing, almost ate it all, forgot to record it. I'm like halfway, 3/4 of the way through this, and was like, oh man. So, 690 calories, 10 ounces, lean ground beef. Tonight, decided to do half a cup of rice instead of 4 corn tortillas, which is roughly the same amount of carbs. It's 160 versus 170. Same thing. So total 48 grams of carbs, 28 grams of fat. So nothing super special, just ground beef and rice, seasoned up, garlic powder, onion powder, adobo seasoning, a little bit of taco seasoning, some Worcestershire sauce. Tastes delicious. So that is our 3 meals that we're having every single day. Now, This one here will vary whether it's taco shells or rice, or maybe I'll do some potato. Just kind of depends upon how the stomach's feeling. Like, do I want something that's going to digest a little faster? Do I just want something that feels a little heftier? Because like the potato, quite a bit denser than the rice. For today, the potato the rice just sounded a little bit better. A little bit lighter, not as much volume. Feel a little full from lunch. So it's kind of one of those give and takes. But as you can tell, 10 carbs isn't going to make that big of a difference. That's a whopping freaking 40 or 10 calories. I mean, not 10 carbs. 10 carbs is a bit of a difference. That's 40 calories. 10 calories, 2.5 carbs, plus or minus, not really going to make that big of a spiel. But this is the way I do it. That's how I get my meals down. They're filling to me. Do get a little hungry before bedtime, but not too terrible as long as I just don't stay up way too late doom scrolling or something. But that's kind of the way it goes. So with that, I will break down total calories and total macros, and we'll kind of end this off. So calorically, we're looking at between 230 to 240 calories every single day. Today, broke down to 2,335. Then, carbs, that's where it's going to shift a couple. Same with protein, but carbs today, 236 grams of carbs. Protein, 203 grams. Fats, 48 grams. So, pretty balanced there for the most part. You want to be at least 40 grams of fats, closer to 50, maybe 60, depending upon how big you are, for hormone level regulation, things like that, because you do got to be taking in some fats. Carbs, that's what's going to be, providing your energy for the day, more or less. And that's what you're going to move up and down in order of deficit, surplus, and maintenance. You're really not going to move around your fats too much, and you're really not going to move around your protein really a large amount, if at all, from once you're kind of set on eating where your body weight needs to be, right? So I'm 208 pounds, well, 209 half this morning. 208 quarter last week is our lowest we got to before everything went haywire, but hey, we're going back down, so we're on track. Now, we going to stay around that 200 gram of protein mark. For us, we're not really going to go down from there on that. Fats, they're basically where they're going to be. So we just added in 240 calories of carbs over the last 4 days, like we were just talking about, because my calories were actually a little too little, apparently. So we had to bring them up some. So we seeing where that kind of leads us to. But with that, guys, that's how my daily schedule kind of works out and where the meals are. So a little change of pace and video. But with that, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.